Everybody, this is Kat Carasello, and I wanted to share a little bit about the process of creating journey circles. There is sort of a wonderful story behind this, and of course, these kinds of projects and creative processes, such as journey circles, as being a very specific sort of modality, not just materials, not just creative process, but a modality and a blended system. So I thought I'd share a little bit about how Journey Circles evolved. Journey Circles was really birthed out of my passion for doing journey work as a whole. I've led and guided journey process under the name of Mythos Journey Work for over 12 years. I started to develop that body of work based on my own experience of blended process, incorporating the idea of the hero or the heroine's journey that came through my life organically based on doing shadow work, incorporating parts of self-work, shamanic journey, and art as process. So really guiding a highly experiential process that became then a dynamic motivational tool for one's life. And so my experience with guiding thousands and thousands of people through the process, through online and through individual retreat style, workshop style, long-term inquiry process, I also felt the need to translate some of that and find a way to create something that was somewhat systemized, or at least clear, a little bit more clearly defined. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to create something that could be both a creative process and a coaching tool? Because I'm a depth coach, and because coaching is a huge part of why I use the language of creativity, the language of symbol, image, and metaphor, and incorporate that as such a core part of my offerings. I also work individually with women, with couples, and with men all over the world, really delving deeply into unpacking, healing, transitioning, understanding, clarifying, balancing in order to activate change and growth. And to do that in the direction of conscious, aligned choice. That's the critical piece. So that work also expanded into professional mentoring and working with people who are in somewhat aligned fields and interested in developing their work in the way that I have. So there's an interesting kind of way that all of these things dovetail and start to layer and start to invite me or call me to creating what now is Journey Circles. That design of Journey Circles came first through recognizing that all of what we experience starts to be offered a kind of a language. And that is a very personal language. It's a language that often comes through clues or images. Those messages that are activated and we become aware of them based on our own experience are really our motivational tools. So we can approach these and understand them both through the shadow or lack or longing, as well as through the direct access point that is much more joy-filled and encouraging and affirming, that would be called and maybe framed as visioning. So that idea started to allow me to develop what I know to be the experience of doing journey work, both from one perspective that is the longing and the entering in perspective, and then through that doorway of illumination and activation that is the visioning perspective. The longing perspective could also be called the healing work. And so that became are the transformation cards. And you see, you go to the website, you have access to all of this information and these models, recognizing that those particular journey points were also aligned with the chakras. I felt was incredibly valuable information, so that there are multiple perspectives that one can use these card types. And then, of course, they're blended. So they're different forms, different sizes of cards that will serve each of us as individuals in different ways. I want everybody to still be able to approach their process, template or no, through the language of your own knowing. So that means that the difference between one person's understanding of what this size card will be and represent and hold and resonate for each of us as individuals, whatever the imagery, this is the spiral path card, and each of these symbols then creates a very specific energetic container. But that energetic container is still able to be defined by you, the artist, by you, the facilitator, by you, the coach, and blended into either personal or professional work. Likewise, the use of a larger size, a spectrum card, where you have really the potential, of double-sided imagery. So the idea of the spectrum card incorporating words, really working with double-sided, which could go for actually any of the card types, could be double-sided, but integrating words, looking at the spectrum of experience, starting to develop narrative process with things aligned and stacked in unexpected ways. So you start to layer messages and understand the dynamic of using different cards that will hold different meanings. So how this card may relate to ticking time or to the message. So again, there are so many ways in which these blend and serve and become really evocative parts of your creative practice. And they're also designed to blend and be used with any other creative modalities, so that you might have a very particular practice in process painting or soul collage or Mari or any of these other multimodal process, art journaling, something very expansive and loose, and then want to bring in the dynamic of journey circles, this precious space, this sacred space of the circle, the language of entering into relationship with parts of self, redefining our stories. So there's so much richness. And this is really where my heart sings, because I do work in layered process. I also work with multiple modalities. So it was so important for me to create and honor the use of multiple modalities within the process, to also find a place to integrate or have the flexibility and fluidity of working with the circuform, such a sacred container, such an ancient symbol, to integrate what I felt were the most powerful symbols for me, the spiral path, the spectrum, the key, the transformation messages, the chakras. All of these become so relevant and such powerful containers. The intuitive process and the intentional process, both equally powerful. Creativity that can go both ways. Lean into your mystery and the sacred womb. So that's a little bit of the background. And I had to really, many years of my own creative experience and also my guiding experience, leading really came in to influence the design of Journey Circles and to bring it into the realm of both facilitator training and depth coach training was really the expanding edge for me to begin to articulate and share what I've learned and to expand the ability for individuals to tap into something first personally, really related to personal growth and expanded awareness, consciousness, which is where my transformative art and counseling master's degree really built that design for me of integrating consciousness into the creative process and the ability to learn and grow and design life through what we know to be true and what we know when we do this kind of depth work. So there's a bit of the story, there's a bit of the background, and I hope that it will inspire something that's calling to you. When we listen to the call, when we follow the trajectory or path of growth in our own lives, when we understand and do that deeper layer of healing, what is waiting for us through the next doorway is expansion, the edge, and the call. Answering that call may be part of your Journey Circles experience. It certainly was part of mine. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me in this video chat, and we'll connect soon. Join and discover what Journey Circles holds for you.